lovely people of Ghana, is your Nigerian Get Pleasure, bringing you political news in a challenge and chromatic. So many persons have come out to say that Dunso is actually back again because they have actually come out to see that there are some power outage in some part of Ghana. Please, Rich.
Akusha, do we have Dunso? Are we in Dunso?
I think this is a question that has been a lot of people are asking, but ECG has come out to say, one, recent power challenges has been due to maintenance. Two, that you and I know that we have certain persons stealing cables and wires. I don't even know where they take it. At this point, I think that as much as the Ghana police sets up cameras at certain vantage points, when it comes to ECG infrastructure, cameras should also be placed so that we can catch the people doing that. There's also illegal connections. This particular issue, time and time again, even when certain houses catch fire or whatnot, the trigger has been that an illegal connection with the wiring causing problems. I was at a funeral in the constituency 2 weeks ago. While sitting, there was a tent outside of the church. While sitting there, a cable started, sparking. And it literally, the most shocking thing, when we say education is important, somebody was carrying what looked like a metal rod to go and hit the thing. You can imagine touching a live wire with that metallic thing. But long story short, you could tell that that connection wasn't from ECG. So they had done their own rewiring, whatever, to get electricity. But those also cause challenges and overburden the grid, because what they have as fully seen will be different from the illegal connections made. That being said, I remember last year, I think it was last year, when we were agitating for a timetable of sorts because people felt they gave the scheduling for the maintenance, it was at about 3 weeks, if I recall. But Annie, depending on where you live, sometimes you won't experience it as others are. I think Saturday, Dansuman, it was because of social media, everybody was posting it. Some parts of Kumasi, some parts of Greater Accra were reporting that the light had gone off, and were asking that if it's going to be the norm, then a timetable comes out. I want to believe that it's not, and I want to believe that it is the routine maintenance as well as fixing problems that they might have experienced or have noticed. It's important that that is done. And once they get it out of the way, we'll have a seamless use of power as we've had in the last 7 years.
Let's assume, because we've had issues with IPPs, we've had issues with generation, we've had issues with the legacy debt, we've had issues with ESLA questions are being asked and all that. Let's assume it is maintenance. How do I go home Friday night? My light is off. All the way into Saturday evening. The light didn't come off until Saturday evening. Nobody told me that there is maintenance in my area. Nobody told me there's stealing cables.
If it's maintenance work, let people know that. Where do you live?
Lashibi area.
Very good too. Okay.
So yeah, actually, I don't like saying it.
So you live at Ladade Kotopon. On this date, and this is not new to ECG, Great Co and Co. They've given us that timetable for, and they stuck to it. Let people know that this is what you're doing, so people can plan their lives better. If it's going to be a long period and you do not have a generator, maybe you can even go and spend the weekend at another your family relations end or something. Some people are doing writing thesis and need power. Now the gig economy, people are working with their phones and laptops and need power and Wi-Fi connections. So let's be mindful of the effects it has on the citizenry and give a timetable.
So this is what President
so that
said.
People would be comfortable in knowing what to expect day in, day out as they go about their lives.
I have two different reports from him. He was touring the northern part of the country. I think today he's starting a greater Accra region tour. So this is what he said. Former President John Dramani Mahama, flag bearer of the opposition party, has suggested that although his honesty is a great virtue, his decision to be honest about every struggle the country was facing under his tenure may have been one of the major challenges of his government. Mahama emphasized that the importance of elected officials being forthright with the electorate to build trust credibility. He expressed concerns about the current government's lack of transparency, particularly regarding the recent power challenges, suggesting that they may be withholding information from the public. I was brought up to tell the truth at all times. So when I was president, if things were not going well, I told the people of Ghana and what we were trying to do about it. I think my honesty was one of the major problems I had because I didn't think that I should fool my people, he said. So former President Mahama reiterated his stance, stating, unfortunately, others have different intentions. He maintained his assertion that the current government is withholding crucial information from the public, citing recent development in the power sector as evidence. Quote, we know that they are shedding load. They have a problem with generation. Some generation assets are down. They have problem with paying for gas. Every day they are shedding between 280 and 480 megawatts of power, but they will not give us the timetable because that is what Ghanaians know as doomsday, he said.
First of all, that is a very dishonest claim. It's a bold, barefaced lie. I recall when he was president. No, the bit about he was honest with the citizenry about the challenges and the expectation. He wasn't. In fact, if I would recall, there were 4 or 5 different timelines he himself gave personally to the end of Doomso. And every time that happened, we didn't see an end. To the point where even the minister of power then, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name because his face doesn't quite register. I keep forgetting his image. Even he had to take the fall because the deadline they gave for the end of it didn't materialize. So if he comes to say that he was honest about it, Mr. John Mahama, I don't even want to address you personally. You were not honest about it. You gave several different timelines, and each time that deadline showed up, you had a different excuse as to why it hadn't been solved. In fact, if you remember, one of the things that they tout themselves for, especially with that fictitious claim of fixing Doomso, is when they said that their married deal was their own. Don't forget that that was signed as an emergency agreement. Emergency, and an emergency takes how many days? So as quickly as you can. It took about a year for us to even see those power badges. But my point is, if you are going to make the claim that he's being dishonest, at least we can reference your tenor. Every time you gave that deadline, we still sat in darkness. In fact, we sat in darkness to hear the deadlines being pushed back and back. I agree with the public sentiment that
because we had a very critical problem within the power sector that spans way back even before Mahama came into office.
The conversation about capacity is one that both governments have all through, from even Liman's time. Some extension has been made. Even as we speak, a conversation of the rural electrification is back on the table because they're saying communities that are still springing up and you have to ensure that they get electricity. The public sentiment, and I align with it, that there are routine official positions as stated by ECG, as stated by GRADECO, has been explicit. If you have any other reasons ascribed to it, let me see the official documentation on that. Yes, we do know that in the past, those challenges that lasted over 4 years was as a result of debt. That's 36 months of being incapable of solving that problem.
So you know, Dunso is not back. It is just a minor technical issue, and not like the John Mahama's time that it was a regular occurrence for the full years he was in the office. Please do well to like, comment, follow, put your notification bell so you get all our updates one by one. Thanks, my people.